Seika Academy is a prestigious school for gifted students. Many of the world's top achievers have graduated from here, including the legendary actress Subaru Ayase. Now, her son Yu Ayase transfers in, but unlike his mother, he is mediocre in everything. His mentor treats him harshly, not for something he's done, but simply because of his mother's legacy. Everyone expects him to be like Subaru, yet he's failing classes and hopeless in martial arts. His mentor mentions that the three royals, the school's most outstanding students, are curious about him. Wanting to prove himself, Yu throws a punch, but it's so weak it barely connects. His mentor slams him to the floor and whispers, "Spread." The son of Subaru Ayase is a failure. For a moment, his mentor sees a flash of Subaru in him, but the scolding continues. Suddenly, someone kicks the mentor from behind. It's Nico Mikadono, the academy's top martial artist. Beside her stand Kazuki, a famous actress, and Miwa, a shoujo prodigy. Together, they're the three royals. But when they learn Yu has no special skills and is enrolled in the overlooked general education course, they lose interest. Before leaving, Nico orders him to clean the dojo as the loser. The next day, the dojo is shining because Yu cleaned it. On his way home, he thinks back to his childhood. He once wanted to be praised like his mother, but the more he watched her perform, the more he realized he could never match her shine. Later, his mother fell ill and spent time rewatching an old drama where she played a kind mother. Yu once told her his favorite part was the ending, when the family gathered for dinner. That moment sparked one of their few heartfelt talks in years, and he learned she didn't care about him becoming famous. She just wanted him to have a happy family. After she passed away, Yu moved in with Mr. Mikadono, her old friend and supporter. When he arrives at the Grand Mikadono mansion, Nico, wearing only a towel, kicks him in the face, mistaking him for an intruder. She slips and he tries to help, which only angers her. Kazuki and Miwa soon appear, shocked by the scene. Mr. Mikadono calls, explaining he promised Subaru he'd look after Yu. What he didn't mention, Yu would be living with his three daughters, the three royals. The sisters are less than welcoming. Nico accepts it only because their father says so. Kazuki can't believe they're housing someone she views as a failure. Miwa flat out refuses to help him. Yu remains polite and determined to get along, but he quickly notices the house is a disaster. Kazuki fails at washing dishes. Miwa writes laundry instructions on her hand because she's forgotten how, and Nico blames him for exposing their mess despite being in charge of cleaning. Without a word, Yu starts tidying up. Before long, the entire mansion is spotless. Nico realizes he also cleaned the dojo. Yu simply smiles, realizing cleaning is something he can do well. The next morning, Yu wakes early, hoping for a quiet day with no school. Instead, the house is full of noise. Nico's training in the dojo, Miwa's gaming and arguing online, Kazuki's mixing a suspicious green drink. Yu sits at the table, hoping for breakfast together, but Kazuki rushes out. Miwa counts snacks as her meal, and Nico sticks to her strict training diet. It reminds Yu of his mother, who often skipped meals for work. He begins to understand the sisters. Kazuki stays in shape for acting, Miwa snacks to keep her mind sharp, and Nico follows her curate routines. Talented people can get so focused on their own goals they forget about others. Before they head out, Yu stops them. They panic, thinking they forgot something, but he simply says, "Have a nice day." They brush it off, though each remembers it later. Back in the kitchen, Yu washes dishes when Mr. Mikadono calls again. He explains he'll be away most of the time and asks Yu to be there for his daughters when they face challenges. Even without special skills, he believes Yu can help them open up. Yu looks around the spotless house, unsure how an average guy can help three prodigies, but he's willing to try. Even though Mr. Mikadono's request feels overwhelming, Yu tries not to show it. Still, he wonders, how can someone as ordinary as him help three incredibly talented girls? Why would they even need him? Mr. Mikadono explains, Kazuki has an important audition, Nico is training for a national martial arts competition, and Miwa has a big shoujo title match. He wants Yu to support them through it all. After the call, Yu hangs laundry outside, still thinking about it. He's not strong, smart, or special, and he knows failure well. As the son of a famous actress with no talent of his own, he's felt others' disappointment countless times. If that pain is hard for him, it must be worse for those expected to succeed. Determined to help, he hops on his bike and heads to the market, thinking the first step is sharing a meal together. That evening, Nico returns to find Yu cooking. She almost forgot he lived there. Assuming he's trying to win her over, she refuses his offer and goes to shower. But when she returns, he's still cooking, surrounded by cookbooks, focused and serious. Miwa comes home, and Yu cheerfully says he's making a family dinner. Nico still thinks it's silly, but watching him reminds her of the past, how she often refused even meals from top chefs, sticking to her strict athlete's diet. Later, alone in her room eating pre-packed food, Nico keeps thinking about his cooking. Curious, she sneaks downstairs and is shocked to find the meal perfectly balanced for an athlete. Yu appears and explains the nutrients. He even consulted a dietitian. She sits down to try it, and when she doesn't complain, his face lights up. Miwa peeks from the stairs and joins them after learning her plate is designed for brain health. Yu made a different meal for each sister. Soon they're teasing each other like normal siblings, and Yu smiles. But when Kazuki arrives, she ignores her custom-made dish and goes straight to her room. Deep down, seeing her sisters eating together warms her heart, but she doesn't feel she belongs, not with food from a nobody. Yu is left frozen and discouraged. Even Nico and Miwa are annoyed by her reaction. 3 days pass with no progress. In class, Yu keeps thinking about Kazuki. He finds her surrounded by admirers and jokes about the dinner, but she snaps at him, embarrassed. Rumors spread they might be dating, and he panics and runs off. He asks Nico for help, but she's busy training. 2 teammates think he's causing trouble, so he flees. He tries Miwa next, finding her alone in class. When she refuses lunch, he follows her until they both collapse from running. They joke about being different from everyone else, and over sandwiches, Miwa recalls Kazuki once asking their mother to cook just for her. When Kazuki comes home, Yu announces his next dish. She suddenly collapses with a fever. Her sisters say she often gets sick, especially with rehearsal stress. Yu brings porridge, but she refuses. For days he leaves meals at her door, but she sends them back. One day, she collapses into his arms. Still, she shuts him out when he offers to help her rehearse. He remembers acting once thanks to his mother's connections and tries reading the script with her. But he's terrible. She kicks him out. The next day he tries again, and again. At night, Kazuki sees him watching the movie version of her play, realizing he's been studying it just to help her. The following morning, his acting is still stiff, but she lets him continue. Then, in one scene, he delivers his line with real emotion, and it works. Overwhelmed, he cries. Finally, a success. She scolds him for being dramatic, but secretly wishes to return to acting soon. Later, Kazuki says she's ready to try his cooking, on one condition. Hiding under a blanket, she shyly lists all the foods she dislikes because she is a picky eater. That morning, Miwa and Nico are stunned. Kazuki is eating breakfast with them. And not just snacks. You pass by and casually praise her for finishing her soup. Kazuki shrugs, saying it's fine as long as there are no carrots. Unaware you secretly grated some in. You feel relieved. It's taken effort to get all 3 sisters at the table, but it feels worth it. By evening, Yu's joy fades. One after another, the sisters message that they won't be home for dinner. You try to hide your disappointment, but your voice betrays it. Just when you thought you were becoming a family, things feel distant again. You remember your own childhood, your genius actress mother gone for months filming. You admired her, but the gap between you never closed. Looking at the Mikadono sisters, prodigies in their own fields, you can't help but feel out of place. Still, Mr. Mikadono asked you to take care of them, and you want to do it right. The problem is, you're not sure what happy family even looks like. You think of your favorite movie series, where your mom played a loving mother, not dramatic, just warm, everyday moments. That's the kind of family you want, so you binge the entire series until the wedding scene where she marries the lead actor. It moves you, but also reminds you real life is different. When the sisters return home, they find you watching with teary eyes. Miwa peeks at the screen, shocked you've watched the whole series. Kazuki recognizes the actress, Subaru, your mother, and assumes you must miss her. She gently tells you not to overwork yourself just to be accepted. Miwa agrees, but Nico bluntly calls you a freeloader. Hurt, you insist that even with your problems with your mother, you now understand her better, and you want to connect with them like a real family. Nico scoffs, saying family doesn't mean much for people like them, and questions how you could ever be family to them. The wedding vows play on the TV again, and the sisters freeze, completely misunderstanding, thinking you want to marry them all. Oblivious, you ask Nico her birthday so you can decide who's the big sibling. Red-faced, they call you a freeloader again and storm off. That night, while Nico bathes, she finds herself thinking about you, wondering how you stay so calm living with 3 girls. Suddenly, you scream from the kitchen, panicking because you forgot to buy bread. When you turn and see her in just a towel, your concern shifts. You calmly warn she might catch a cold. Embarrassed, she runs into Miwa, who notices her red face. They bicker until you walk in with folded laundry. When your hands brush Miwa's, she blushes. Nico grows suspicious and Miwa teases back, thinking Nico might have a crush on you. Kazuki walks in, and when you smile and thank her for helping with a high shelf, she blushes too. Later, while cleaning, you find an old photo of the sisters as kids, hugging and smiling. They deny leaving it out, but you know someone treasures it. You want to bring that warmth back. The next day, they each announce weekend trips for competitions and events. Uneasy, you secretly check their destinations and buy their travel tickets to the same city. That night, you give them the tickets, saying it'll make things easier. Miwa mutters about missing your cooking, but denies it. At her Shaja match, Miwa wins her first game, but her mentor warns the next will be harder. Walking back, she sees cherry blossoms in a festival. At her hotel, she finds Kazuki checking in, followed by Nico. They're confused until you arrive, explaining you arranged it so they'd be near each other. You mention the festival and a shrine that brings luck to competitors. They agree to go after you show them a guide filled with food stalls and suggest renting kimonos. At the shop, Kazuki picks a classy black and white one, Miwa chooses a green with kitten prints, and you happily take photos. Nico claims she dislikes kimonos, but you hand her a soft pink one with cherry blossoms, believing it suits her. After a long pause, she emerges wearing it. Everyone stares in silence, realizing she looks beautiful. That night, you wander through the lively festival with the three Mikadono sisters, hoping they'll enjoy it together like a real family. But to your surprise, Kazuki quickly becomes the center of attention. Fans swarm her, asking for photos and cheering like she's on stage. She handles it gracefully, but even while posing, she keeps glancing toward Miwa and Nico, who are happily sampling festival food. Nearby, a girl watches from a distance. She admits Kazuki is beautiful but insists she's still just a normal girl. As she turns to leave, her sandal strap snaps and she trips. Kazuki catches her just before she falls. The crowd gasps, then cheers again. Without caring for the attention, Kazuki guides the girl to a safer spot. Watching from afar, you follow them through the crowd. When Kazuki makes sure the girl is fine and starts to leave, you pull her aside behind some bushes. She looks annoyed at first, but before she can scold you, you hand her a bag of food and a small bandage. You've noticed her walking with a slight limp. Her sandal strap must have hurt her foot. She tries to brush it off, but you insist. When she finally shows you the injury is worse than expected, she still carried someone with that wound. You ask why she didn't say anything. Kazuki replies that as someone seen as a prince, asking for help might disappoint people. You tell her it doesn't matter. Everyone should be allowed to be themselves. Gently, you bandage her foot, and she feels her cheeks grow warm. Meanwhile, Miwa and Nico try their hand at the goldfish scooping game. Nico keeps tearing the paper scoops and grows frustrated, while Miwa laughs, making her even more annoyed. Just then, Kazuki returns wearing a mask to avoid recognition, with you right behind her. They split into teams, Kazuki and you versus Miwa and Nico. Miwa teases Kazuki that the mask suits her better than her usual serious face. The game turns competitive, with Miwa catching fish easily while Nico struggles. Kazuki accuses Miwa of cheating, but Miwa smirks, saying it's just skill. You sigh at how seriously they're taking a kid's game. Quietly, you slip away. Your plan is simple, give the sisters time together, but you have another mission. You head to the Lotus Hopping Challenge, where contestants cross a pond by jumping on lotus-shaped platforms to reach a torii gate. The prize is a photo with the shrine's golden guardian, said to bring luck, especially to those with upcoming competitions. You carry a childhood photo of the sisters at that very shrine and want to recreate it. But the challenge is brutal. Some pads sink instantly, sending contestants into the water. No one has completed it in 10 years. One host recalls that 3 young sisters once did. On your first attempt, you fall in immediately. You try again and again, failing each time. The crowd loses hope, but you refuse to quit. As the sky darkens and rain starts to fall, the host urges you to stop. You focus, imagining how the sisters might work together, balancing each other's weaknesses. With that image in mind, you make one final run and land solidly at the gate. The crowd cheers. The host offers to take your prize photo, but you refuse, running back through the rain to find the sisters. The festival is closing early due to the storm, and you stop in the empty street, soaked and alone. Maybe they've already gone home. Maybe you pushed too hard. Just as you lower your head in disappointment, you look up, and there they are. Earlier, the sisters had worried about finding you since they didn't have your number. Miwa joked about posting a missing person alert on Kazuki's spam page, but when they tried to describe you, they couldn't agree. Kazuki said your smile was your best trait, Miwa claimed she knew you best for your cooking, and Nico muttered about the protein and sports tape you always bought her. All 3 blushed, realizing how personal their words sounded. In the end, they gave up on social media and decided to find you themselves. The next day, Kazuki's flawless performance makes headlines and Miwa and Nico win their competitions. Even after a sleepless festival night, they shine. To you, they really are prodigies. Since the festival, the sisters seem closer, supporting each other more. The thought makes you smile in class. You remember promising to cook them a nice dinner when they got back. That afternoon, you return home with groceries, but something feels off. Their shoes are already by the door. They are home early. Inside, you see them standing with a man you don't recognize. It's Mr. Mikadono, their father. Surprised, you bow and thank him for letting you stay. He doesn't smile. Instead, he reminds you to develop the talents your late mother once had. Unsure how to respond, you laugh awkwardly. He asks his daughters about their progress. One by one, they share their recent successes, and he tells them to keep improving. As he prepares to leave, you invite him to stay for dinner, but he refuses. He only came to hear their reports. Then he notices the festival mask Kazuki wore. Without thinking, you explain the whole story. The sisters at the festival, revisiting childhood memories and spending time together. His expression hardens. Putting on the mask, he accuses you of distracting his daughters from their goals. When you mention the lucky shrine they visited, it only angers him more. Festivals, he says, are a waste of time. Then he turns on you, calling you a failure despite being the son of Subaru IS. You've accomplished nothing. Grabbing your shoulder, he warns that someone without talent doesn't belong in his house. Before you can respond, the sisters step between you. Each defends you in her own way, saying you make their lives easier and happier, but none admits they truly need you. That night, you eat alone. Their father bans festivals and tells them to stay focused, but you've cooked for everyone. They claim to be too busy to eat together. A week passes, and things return to how they were when you first arrived. Nico stays late at rehearsals, Kazuki practices endlessly for her play, and Miwa trains in shogi. They all eat quick snacks or tasteless food. Gradually, each realizes the same thing. Their meals feel empty without you. Folding laundry, you recall Mr. Mikadono's harsh words and wonder if your dream of a simple, happy family is too small. But then you remember your prodigy mother also wished for that life. The thought gives you strength. You'll keep trying. The next day, the sisters notice you don't say goodbye before school. At lunch, Nico opens her bag to find a homemade meal perfectly suited to her tastes. She almost cries. Miwa and Kazuki discover the same, and when classmates try to steal bites, Nico fiercely guards hers. That afternoon, all the lunchboxes come back empty. Kazuki approaches with a bold offer. If you keep cooking for them, you can stay. With auditions, tournaments, and matches ahead, they need you. You happily agree. The next morning, you send them off with fresh lunches. Your kind words leave them flustered. At the studio, Kazuki readies for her first female role. Nico gets a call from someone close who just returned from overseas. Miwa faces a tough choice from her mentor. That evening, they find you making udon from scratch. When you slip and fall, they laugh and join you for dinner. The meal tastes ordinary, but it's warm and comforting. Maybe simple things can be good. Afterward, Kazuki offers to help wash dishes. She admits she's been anxious about her audition but feels better at home. She notices your hands are covered in cuts and burns. Then she drops a plate, but it's unbreakable. You tease her about dropping more, only to slip again and get a nosebleed. Kazuki rushes over, steps on chopsticks, and accidentally kisses you. She calmly calls it an accident and walks away, but it's Yu's first kiss. The next day, little things keep reminding Kazuki of it. When you bring it up, she acts indifferent, but secretly wishes it meant more to you. During rehearsal, she can't focus. That night, she asks for a stamina meal, and then, with a serious look, asks if you're free Sunday. When you say yes, she leans closer. She wants to go on a date. While the other two sisters secretly eavesdrop, both blush with jealousy. Miwa doubts it's a real date, but Nico tells her not to overthink it. It actually sounds legit. They both wonder if you're fine with it before slipping back to their rooms. Afterward, Kazuki hands you a flyer for a heroine audition. She explains she's always been cast as male roles, making it hard to act like a proper heroine. Her tutor once told her personal life would shape her acting. You realize she wants a fake date to help her get into character. Grinning, you agree, promising her the whole day. She warns you not to tell the others or get the wrong idea. You reassure her but insist the date must feel real to work. Saturday morning while cleaning, Nico casually asks about Sunday. You lie, which makes her instantly suspicious. If you're hiding it, it must be serious. Miwa starts suspecting too. Later, Miwa sneaks back and overhears you telling Kazuki you'll give her an amazing date. That evening, dinner feels tense. You give Kazuki a discreet wink, but the other two catch it and give off a heavy, competitive aura. The next scene jumps to you waiting for Kazuki. Unaware, Miwa and Nico are hiding in bushes and silly disguises. They glare at how happy you look. Then Kazuki appears in a feminine outfit that leaves you stunned. She greets you sweetly, calling you by name instead of new kid. Thrilled, you ask her to keep doing that after the date. They head to the aquarium, trailed by her sisters. Kazuki occasionally slips into her male mannerisms, like offering her hand like a gentleman, and you gently correct her. At the fountain show, she shields you from a splash like a knight again. You sigh, saying she's still off. The crowd cheers about how lucky you are, which only makes her feel less cute. After some awkward moments over carrying bags and sore sandal feet, Kazuki sees her reflection in a shop window and wonders if she's ruining everything. A pushy talent scout approaches, refusing to leave her alone until you step in, claiming you're on a date. Pressed for details, you blurt out absurd ideas until you suddenly declare you'll marry her. The scout laughs it off, but you repeat it confidently, drawing a small crowd. When the scout leaves, you apologize, but Kazuki doesn't seem to forget it. You lead her away, still holding her hand without realizing. Neither lets go, and she secretly hopes you won't. At the theater, she suggests a romance, but you've already chosen Love in April. It stars her former troupe senior who once transitioned from male to heroine roles, a film Kazuki avoided out of fear. The audience's harsh criticism afterward rattles her, and her father's words about mastering any role echo in her mind. You regret bringing her. Later, you take her to a Ferris wheel. The sisters overhear two boys saying proposals there always work, making all three girls blush. In the cabin, Kazuki reflects on her childhood in modeling and theater and the crushing expectations. She even considers quitting. Her thoughts break when she sees you trembling from the glass floor, afraid of heights. You insist it has to be the perfect date. Nervously, call her your heroine ever instead of forever. She smiles despite herself, touched by your messy sincerity. As you scroll through awkward date moments, she realizes those blunders captured real emotions. You tell her she might actually be good at expressing feelings, making her blush. When they get off, she thanks you and says she now wants to act for herself, flaws and all. You take her hand and tell her to remember this day, but she pulls away, then leans in, whispering their first kiss can't be ignored. She removes her wig, says the date's over, and leaves for rehearsal. Back home, her sisters greet you with teasing smirks, reminding you you're still their support too. We see you and the sisters heading to school for their exams. While Kazuki and Miwa are confident about their preparations, you and Nico compare notes to study more effectively. Suddenly, a thief who has just snatched a woman's purse bumps into you. You tries to chase after him but is practically useless. That's when Nico steps in and knocks the thief down with ease. After everyone praises Nico for her bravery, the attention shifts to the woman whose purse was stolen to check if she is hurt. During all this, Yu focuses on Nico and gently wipes the blood off her hand. Taking advantage of the distraction, the thief tries to escape again. Fortunately, Nico's former senior, Hayato Tatsumi, the ace and captain of Iwayama High, appears and knocks the thief out with a swift kick. It turns out Tatsumi has come to town specifically to recruit Nico to Iwayama. The Iwayama karate team is training with the Seika team as part of a joint camp. Seeing the opportunity, Nico challenges Tatsumi to a sparring match. To everyone's surprise, Nico loses the fight. She wishes to fight again, but Yu steps in and interrupts. That's when Tatsumi elaborates on what he said earlier. Considering Nico's natural talent in karate, he believes she is wasting her potential at Seika and asks her to transfer to Iwayama High. Although Nico and her teammates don't want to split up, she still takes some time to consider the offer for the sake of her career. However, Iwayama High is a boarding school, meaning she would also have to live away from Kazuki, Miwa, and Yu. In the end, Nico decides to stay at Seika and tells Tatsumi her decision the following day. As expected, Tatsumi believes Nico is making the wrong choice and tries to persuade her once more, insisting that she belongs at Iwayama High. Suddenly, Yu jumps out of a locker and makes a proposal. Tatsumi's main reason for recruiting Nico is that no one at Seika can match her strength, which might hold back her growth. Hearing this, Yu challenges Tatsumi to a sparring match, with the condition that if Yu wins, Tatsumi will stop trying to recruit Nico. Even though no one believes Yu stands a chance, Tatsumi accepts the challenge after hearing Yu's confident words. Later, Nico trains Yu at their home in preparation for the match. During training, Yu reveals that the reason he is willing to put his body on a line is because he has grown to love seeing off the three sisters every morning. Winning the challenge means he can continue being with Nico, and that thought alone motivates him. As expected, Nico becomes flustered at Yu's confession. Right after, Yu presses Nico to admit why she wants to stay at Seika, despite having the chance to join Iwayama. While she doesn't want to part from her team or her sisters, Nico finally admits that she has also grown to cherish Yu's "have a nice day" every morning. At that moment, Miwa and Kazuki walk in, flustered, and say they want to help Yu and Nico win the challenge. Yu makes special preparations to tilt the match in his favor. In the challenge letter he sends to Tatsumi, he specifically requests that Tatsumi not use his dominant arm or leg during the fight. To everyone's surprise, Tatsumi actually agrees to the condition. But that's it for this part. Let me know if you want the next part of this anime.